Andre didn't speak to his mother that morning, not because he was angry. Not exactly. He was just tired of trying to explain what he felt. But the words never came out right. He ate his breakfast too fast, slammed the spoon a little too hard against the bowl. But Naomi said nothing. She just watched him, holding her mug of coffee like it was the only thing keeping her grounded.
Do you have your inhaler? You're going into the cave today, remember?
Then turned away like she couldn't bear to fight him that early in the morning. But the truth is, he did have the inhaler. He wasn't stupid. He just hated being reminded that he was fragile. He hated a lot of things lately. Their house on Lockett Street was too quiet for how much history lived inside it. Andre's room still had holes in the drywall from a fight with Uncle Charles last summer. A screaming match that ended with Charles being driven home by the police and Naomi sitting on the porch, crying and shaking like her bones were made of glass. But Charles never really left. His anger stuck around. Andre felt it in his shoulders, in his jaw, in the way he balled his fists when no one was looking. He didn't want to be like him, but sometimes he was. After the last spoonful of breakfast, Andre stood up and left the house, forgetting to pick up his jacket. While outside, he reached for his pocket, pulled out a wired earpiece, plugged it into his iPod. Then the music came on, but just before he could turn up the volume, his mother's voice called out just right behind him.
Honey, you're forgetting your jacket.
But Andre didn't respond. He turned to look at her. He really looked as though he knew what was coming next, but he kept on walking towards the bus.
Please, Trey, be careful down there, okay?
The school bus smelled like mildew and feet. A bunch of students were already yelling, laughing too loud. Andre sat alone, headphones in, but he wasn't listening to the music, just wearing them so people wouldn't talk to him. 2 rows behind, a girl named Danny kept glancing at him. She had once tried to tell him her dad was an astronaut. Andre used to like her in 6th grade, but now she looked at him like he was something she almost understood, but not quite. He stared out the window the rest of the ride. Trees, cows, silence. The deeper they went into the hills, the more the signal dropped, and the more something in Andre's gut started to twist. The trail up to the cave was steep, dotted with yellow warning signs and metal railings slick with dew. The park ranger kept calling it a controlled tour, but even Andre could tell they hadn't run this trip in years. Moss grew thick on the guideposts. The entrance gate was held shut with an old padlock that squealed when opened. Miss Dillard gave the safety speech twice, but Andre didn't listen either time. Walked somewhere in the middle, not too close to the front, not far enough behind to be noticed. His eyes moved more than his mouth. He was the kind of kid who felt deeply but said little, the kind who could laugh at a joke but never quite belonged to the people who told it. Inside the cave it was dark. Fire lamp held by the rangers casting shadows of the student on the rocky walls of the cave. The cave was cold, wider, and felt more alive than it looked from the outside. The rangers gave their practice speeches, pointing at rock formations and explaining centuries of erosion with bored voices. Students taking photos with their disposable cameras. Teachers barked reminders about staying with the group. Amid the hum of chatter and echoing footsteps, Andre moved like a shadow, present but apart. He was watching and almost questioning everything his eyes caught, only that the cave felt like a place that deserved silence. Just off to the right of the main chamber, near a bend in the stone, something was carved into the wall. Not initials, not graffiti, but symbols and shapes that looked old but deliberate. Andre slowed his pace. His touch flashed across the surface. It wasn't English. It wasn't even lettering, just a set of intersecting lines, slashes and patterns so tight and intentional, it almost looked like it had been etched with a blade, but no one else seemed to notice. He stared at it, then stepped closer, eyes narrowed, mouth slightly open. His fingers rose to the stone. He didn't think. He just touched it, and in that moment everything changed. The light from the ranger's fire lamp was gone. So were the camera flashes and the voices of the others. He turned around. No one, no group, just stone and darkness. Panic bloomed in his chest.
Are you still Art?
His voice echoed. Hello? He took a few steps back the way he thought they had come, but nothing looked familiar. His breath grew sharper, uneven. He began to jog, then run.
Hello?
His shout cracked off the walls, but it felt wrong. Too quiet, like the cave had swallowed the sound before it could live. No sound, no echo, no rhythm of dripping water. Even the sound of his own breath was gone. He reached for his inhaler, brought it to his mouth, then squeezed, but nothing. No air, no sound of the mist, no relief. His vision blurred. The cave seemed to ripple, like it couldn't hold him anymore. Then he slumped on his knees.
For more interesting stories, please support us by tapping the like, subscribe, and comment button.